Hi, John Hall at Blues Creek. Okay, I can take my pencil out. Oh, I don't need this anymore. I hope I got a nice hairdo because sometimes I don't. Alright, what we're going to show you is a simple repair for loose binding. Alright, now loose binding, it does happen. Usually what happens is because the binding actually shrinks. In this case, I actually forced it off. So this is not because of a shrinkage issue. This is because it was physically pulled off. Now, there's a couple of ways of doing this, and I'm going to show you two different ways of doing it. If you're going to use super glue, that's fine, but there is a technique you got to use for super glue. So let me show you how to do that. If I'm going to do this with super glue, remember, super glue can damage finish. Now, fortunately, I don't have a lot of finish on here, but I'll show you how to help minimize the effects of super glue and finish damage. So the first thing I'm going to do is see how does this go back together. Well, obviously you can see it goes back together reasonably well. Now, if this were a finished guitar, there would probably be little, I'm going to call little breaks and fissures in the lacquer from this being pulled apart. Since this guitar doesn't have finish on it, we don't have that problem. So if I'm going to do super glue, I do use my eyeballs. And the first thing I'm going to do is see where do I need to tape this to get this back together. So there we go. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but this is all reasonably neatly back together. So the first thing we're going to look at this is, okay, I got to put this back together. I have my super glue. And the crux to this exercise is not probably what you think. You think I'm going to put it on here. I'm not. I can do two birds with one stone. If there were finish on here with some finish damage, I would take thin tape. Now the thin tape has one nice advantage in how flat, and again, Pat DeBurrow, thank you for giving me, turning me on to this stuff. I'll put this on, and I can literally put it right on the purfling line. Now, I know you aren't seeing very well, or the angle, but I can follow my purfling line really well. Now, so for sake of education here, we have an area where we're going to do it right, and an area where we're going to do it wrong. Okay, so you see how nice that tape lays onto the body. So what will happen is I'm working the super glue in, it will go to the tape and it won't slop all over the finish. What is really nice about that, when you're dealing with a nitro lacquer finish, that saves you a lot of shop time and that you won't have a lot of finish work to do. Now, you may not be able to see this, but I'll catch my fingernail here. Well, I can't catch my fingernail, but I'll catch my razor blade. And you'll be able to see the purfling was fine, it was just the binding. So, when I put this back in, and I can take my super glue and literally just open that up a little crack and I can run that down. Then I can hold this in, put a piece of tape on there. Can wipe it with a towel. And I know you may not be able to see it too well with the camera, so I'll try to do it backwards. And I can lay the glue right along the tape. Alright, can you see that? Now just by me pushing on there, I don't know if you can see it, but the glue wicked in. And I can wipe it off. Alright, now your initial reaction is going to say, well, I think we do it this way. And you'll put the glue from the top. Well, you can do that, but you can see very difficult to get it to fall and stay right along the side. And then what will happen, it will want to tend to run. And then as you start taping this up, you'll often get some squeeze out. Now you can see how I'm putting tape on, and now you can see how this is squeezing out on me. So that's why I learned if I put that in there and I can drop it above, right at the line with the purfling and the binding, it wicks in, but it doesn't push out so much. But here, you can see we've got a good run here. So that is how, when you do it wrong. This will actually make a fairly decent repair. Now, how does Duco cement work? I'm going to do the same thing. Now, if I use Duco cement, and I used Duco cement on this probably 10 years ago. So this is actually a pretty, Duco works very well. There we go. Now, as you can see, now we're going to have a little bit more damage because we slid some purfling out. Alright? Now, why will I want to use Duco on that repair? Well, Duco does work very, very well, and it's just a different technique that I want to show you over the super glue. Now, I don't have to worry about using thin tape because I have a little bit of working time before it will damage the finish. So I take my acetate, my Duco, and you can see I laid a nice little bead on there. Alright? Now, I probably would not have used quite so much if I had lacquer finish on here, but that will rub right in. You can see how much that work went down in there already. I'll rub this off and tape it. And that's it. And that's how I do that. And you'll be able to see, we'll be able to take the tape off with the super glue pretty quickly. And you can see how that thin tape really helps to control the running, so to speak, of the glue. And our side repair with the super glue, you can see that's actually reasonably solid. Now the Duco is going to take a couple of hours to actually cure in, but you can see the super glue works rather quickly. I'm not a big fan of using super glue for binding, not because of anything else other than when you run with it, it makes a mess. It's hard to clean up. And on some woods, super glue will leave a mark. But there you go, that's all nice and tight. So, oh, I didn't glue up here. So let me re-glue up there. And I'm going to do it with Duco, and we'll follow up there. There we go. I had an air gap there, so the super glue didn't wick in very well. But there you go. That's Duco repair. That's Duco repair. And you're going to see the end result of that shortly. From my shop to yours, I'll be back. Okay, as you know, we did some binding repairs and super glue and epoxy side crack repairs on this guitar. Now this sat overnight and cured. So the binding repair, I'm pulling the tape off. So you can see the binding repair came out without a hitch. Remember, look us up, Blues Creek Guitars, Kick Guitar Forum. We're always here to help you out. Again, thank you very much for your support. My shop to yours.